Welcome back from the break and back to Pivotal Change. We had a great conversation with Emily and Sarah from Arnold Realty Group, and we talked about a lot of team dynamics and ways to establish yourself as a better teammate and be a perpetual student. And we ended up leaving off talking about the impact of client feedback, social media, and marketing. So I'm going to jump in and ask a question right here, ladies. What marketing strategies have you used that you find to be the most effective in differentiating your realty firm from other competition, other real estate agents?
I think that we could do a whole other video on this. I think that's kind of our bread and butter is our marketing. I mean, not only do we stay on top of trends, but we create trends and we see other people want to kind of follow along and our lead. And I think the biggest thing that sets us apart is our community involvement. Not only are we putting out our videos of listings, just kind of giving tours of properties, but we're getting out there with our community, featuring small business owners. We're featuring inspectors, appraisers, people in different professions, and we're doing educational videos and kind of just hitting all different topics. But like I said, the main thing that sets us apart, I think, is our outreach to the community and other business owners.
And one of the things that a lot of people have called us about is, you had maybe brought it up in the past when we spoke, was our Tiny Mike Tuesdays. And we kind of brought that on as something, different and unique to do. And that allows us to go out into the community and interview those community members and do those types of videos. And it's especially fun when you pull that tiny mic out and it kind of makes people think, what are we doing? But it catches people's attention and it catches viewers' attention and potential buyers and sellers. And just to kind of show you who we are as people, not just realtors, I think you get to know us better through our marketing and know who your realtor is as a person and as a realtor, rather than just calling up, a realtor and not knowing what you're getting.
I like that a lot. And I'll comment for the audience, since you're not bragging on yourselves enough, which I appreciate your humility, but they have really in this region launched a trend where people actually show up on social media, Instagram, whatever it is, to see the next segment, to see the next interview, to see the humor that these ladies inject into the community, all surrounding, of course, building community involvement and value, and all ultimately has the base of the realty aspect to it. But there are common trends. They've got their own little keywords around town that people will hear, that it'll trigger, and they'll know exactly that they're talking about the ladies from Arnold Realty Group. And so I think that's something that's really important to draw of what you just said, is you've got your own brand and it's slowly growing across the region. It's definitely got a pin stuck in the map here in Paducah, Kentucky. So good job pointing that out, but I really want to pat you on the back for that one. That's something that you do very well. So in doing that, you have drawn out your own value as a realty group. The customer is getting a different experience with you. So identify for us kind of that unique value proposition that you do. Like, how do you effectively communicate to a person that there's value in working with you, and of course, value in the property that you're targeting for them?
I think, depending on if you're working with buyer or seller, it kind of varies. If I'm working with a buyer, we're somewhat selling ourselves.
Exactly.
We have to let them know that they can trust us. They have to know that we know what we're doing. We're familiar with the business. We're familiar with the market. And they also want to know that they're working with a human being who's, making, just being normal, being a normal human being, just like they are, and that they can create a relationship. Every single time I have a client, 9 times out of 10, I would say we leave becoming friends, or we're still texting to this day, and then sometimes I'm sad because I'll talk to a client for months and months, going over stuff, and then they go away because they buy their house and we haven't talked in a while. But those relationships matter. They matter for future business. They matter for referrals. And I think just, the marketing is fun. Sometimes they like to be a part of it. Sometimes they want to jump on with us. And I think they can just see, hey, we're human. We like to put ourselves out there and have fun, but we also do a great job. And that we care about becoming in line with the trends, I think shows that we are trying to push their properties and trying to push, their sales. And I don't know, I think there's just a lot to be said for that.
I like this. I think the human component of what you just said is really important, that you have to establish trust first by selling yourself. And I think that you're really hitting a really loud drum that people should be paying attention to. And you ladies don't know this, but I often encourage my audience to take notes on the show and write down what they've learned. So I'm hoping everybody out there is listening to sell yourself first. The value is in you, and then the product or service second. because if they don't trust you, you can never bridge the gap into selling your product or service. So way to hit the nail on the head on that one. So I like that a lot. Let's talk about a success story real quick. So you just told us how you sell yourself and the trust and the value and that long-term relationship. So can you give us maybe an example of maybe you had a really challenging property or scenario and you turn that into a successful high value sale?
Yes. So recently we got a call to list a new development in town, a new residential development, and we were trying to brainstorm what kind of extra value can we present to these sellers to where they want to work with us. And so Dawn actually came up with the idea of having each agent be on one lot within that subdivision. So each agent alongside Dawn got to market this property individually because, like I said, you don't just get one agent when you work with Arnold Realty Group, you get 13 or 14.
Mhm.
So not only do you have Dawn Arnold on the face of this listing, you've got Emily Wilson, Sarah Ferris, Kelly Foster, Ella Burgess, Jamie, and we are each marketing this property.
Separately and as a whole. So we're
Exactly.
marketing the neighborhood, but we're also marketing our property. And so she went from having just her marketing to where we might share it, here and there, to now all of us sharing and pushing the entire, project as a whole. And I think that was a huge deal for her.
And that's another reason why our broker, Dawn, is so great. She really lifts us up and tries to make us involved, and it's not just individual agents, it's Arnold Realty Group.
I think she knows that the value in lifting us up and pulling us in projects only helps her too as a broker. And so I think she's very smart and strategic with what she does, but I think she also knows that it's helpful for us. We grow from it, we get sales from it, ultimately growing her business. So it's a smart move.
And of course, helpful to the clients.
And of course, helpful to the clients.
Yeah, Dawn's kind of smart. She's kind of smart. So we'll give her
Just a
some
little
credit.
bit.
She's not here to defend herself and tell us otherwise. So I do appreciate that. So I like the rallying nature of what you said. In order to get that challenging property layout, you had to rally everyone together. The team clearly came together on a common village of let's sell these lots, let's just get this going. Instead of one person having to grind that out over time, all resources were concentrated on making this a success. So I think we can caveat that into that business world as well is when you have a challenge, gather the troops, gather the resources, get a common vision, and do it together. Don't just let one or two person or a small team try to tackle the monster. Everyone do it together. Yeah, I like that a
I think
lot.
it would be nice if one person could tackle it and you could be that person and yay, great. But that's a lot of work for one person. And I think that ultimately is a disadvantage for your client in the long run. And then I think you would lose that client overall because they would see you're just looking at this as a way to selfishly do this all on your own when you could have brought in a team and made this better for me as your client. So
I think that us as Arnold Realty Group, or me as an agent personally, I don't ever not know something, because if I don't have the experience, somebody else did within our group, and we can always lean on them. So I feel like we
100%.
always have the answer because one of us does.
Yes.
We've gone
Yep.
through so many different experiences, and
Yep.
we're able to help each other and grow in that aspect.
The solution is found in the collective experience. I like that a lot, Emily. That's really good. All right. So last question before we end this segment here. Drawn out just a little bit, but I do want you to tell me what are some of the most critical factors in creating a compelling listing that's going to attract some serious buyers. So what are those critical factors? And I'm going to try to see how it plays to business in general.
I think it depends on the property. I think you have to look at the property as a whole and say, okay, we know what kind of buyers are in our town, what are buyers looking for? And when you know your buyers, you look at the property and say, okay, this is what buyers are looking for. This is what we need to push to sell. And I think that are you looking at residential? Are you looking at commercial? Obviously that could be expanded, into so many different aspects, but knowing your community, knowing your town, knowing your buyers, I think will help you decide what features of that listing are most important.
Exactly. And like I said, we have our full-time marketing girl we get the professional photos done, we get the videos done, but just a specific example, if you've got a property in need of renovation, we'll do a video where we show the now, and then we put inspiration in there to show what could be. And now you're marketing towards
Potential.
investors, flippers, or
Mhm.
people who wanna just go in and fix something, and you're providing them with a vision.
It's a kind of it's a loaded question in that it really is, it depends on the property. But there's a lot of ways that you could market it. I think it just comes down to knowing your market and knowing who your buyers are and knowing the potential that the property has.
I like that a lot. I think you're just absolutely killing it with the knowledge. You spend the time to know the target audience, to know the climate and the community and the culture in which you're dealing. So you can immediately provide based on the demands of your region. You have knowledge. And then you put in the extra work of a lot of people, realtors have a knack of walking into a house and seeing the bones of the house and the potential problems and pain points and the potential, oh my goodness, you could turn this into a garden or a playroom for your child, and painting that vision. And then you're actually taking the work to do that through high quality photos and the timeline, the potential futures, and you're painting it for them because people may not have that talent. They may not be able to paint that picture of the future. And you, through your knowledge, paint it for them. I think that's really excellent. Well, let me do this. Let's go ahead and jump to another commercial break. We're going to drop off Sarah at this point and transition the conversation just a little bit with just Emily. But ladies, thank you so much for having us. And before we leave, tell the audience if they like what you have to say, if they like your knowledge, they want to build a team in the way that you built a team, or even use you for properties. How do they get a hold of you?
So you can go to our website at thearnoldrealtygroup.com and go to agents, and you can see all of our contact info.
And if you hit Arnold Realty Group on any social media platforms, you'll see all of us tagged in a lot of the videos, especially I think we're all tagged in almost all of the posts now. So you can click on there and kind of go through and look through all of our social media pages as well.
Absolutely fantastic. Sarah, thank you for coming on the show, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. And Emily, we'll be right back with you. Everyone else, stay tuned to Pivotal Change for our third segment of the night. We'll be right back after this.